Hello everyone, for this video I'm back at Bishopwearmouth Cemetery. I did a video about this a few months ago, but it was a time when I hadn't worked out how to use the camera and I hadn't managed to do this update on the camera as well, so I just wanted to come back and do it properly. But I have come today, and you might be able to hear in the background they're actually doing lots of work in the cemetery after the recent storm Dara. They're actually chopping up loads of wood. I'm actually about 250 metres away, but it's still quite loud, so hopefully you can hear us. Okay, so I've come here to show you this particular monument. It's quite a large monument, and this is the man, Cuthbert Vaux. He died March the 1st, 1878, aged 65 years, and his epitaph is just simply Amen, Amen. It also mentions Sarah Ann, the beloved wife of himself, who departed this life November the 29th, 1860, aged 46 years old. And then her epitaph is Lord remember me. And also of Sarah, the second wife of the above, who died July the 7th, 1888, aged 72 years. So Cuthbert Vaux, he's the guy who created the famous Vaux Brewery. I think it was back in the 1830s. It was a Cuthbert Vaux and Sons Limited, something along those particular lines. So a well-known Sunderland brewery that lasted till, what was it, 1990s I think, before it disappeared. But there is a local brewery who have kept the name alive. Now, in 1841, Cuthbert and his first wife Sarah lived at Cumberland Street in the centre of Bishopwearmouth. That's nondescript street just behind, well, to the side of Marks and Spencer's, running off High Street West. There's nothing on it now, but back in the day it had houses on it. There was a few, I think there's bits, a couple of pubs, there was a church as well. Just your typical Bishopwearmouth street, and that's where he lived. He lived there till at least the early 1850s, when he moved off to Union Street near the railway station in the centre of town, and then eventually he ended his days at Thornhill Terrace. Now, Cuthbert and Sarah had 12 children. Now, 5 survived to adulthood, but if you read this, also in memory of 7 children who died in their infancy, of Cuthbert and Sarah Ann Vaux, and are interred in Bishopwearmouth Churchyard. So Bishopwearmouth Churchyard is what is now the Sunderland Minster. It was called St Michael and the Angels, but it was generally known as Bishopwearmouth Church or Bishopwearmouth Parish Church. And if you look at any reference in any of the Sunderland cemeteries that mention people who were buried there, it will always say Bishopwearmouth Churchyard or Bishopwearmouth Parish Church. That's what people generally called it at the time. Okay. Now, you won't find a trace of any memorials to these, because most of the headstones in the Minster were taken down when the church has been expanded, but also they had the bright idea to turn it into a remembrance garden, so most of the headstones were taken down and placed in the pavement around the church. There is one for Vaux, members of the Vaux family, but it's sort of the extended family of Cuthbert. Now, it's quite a tragic story here, so we'll start off here, look. From between July the 11th, 1841, down to October the 7th, 1849, Cuthbert and Sarah lost 7 children in a period of that, what's that? Literally 8 years. So there was Sarah Elizabeth, she died May the 6th, 1840. So born May the 6th, 1840, July the 11th, so what was that? About 15 months old. The following year, Sarah Emma was born on April the 2nd, 1842, and she lived till September that year. William was born in August the 20th, 1843, and he died literally less than 2 weeks later. Emily was born July the 10th, 1846, and she died July the 25th, 1846. So again, 2 weeks. And then on July the 1st, 1847, Sarah gave birth to twins Margaret Ann and Elizabeth Jane Vaux. Now again, if you look, Margaret Ann died July the 29th, 1847, and sadly a twin sister died the following day that year. And then at the end here we've got Wilson Vaux. He born March the 1st, 1849, and he lived till October the 7th, 1849. Also mentions Cuthbert, the third son of Sarah Ann Vaux. He died January the 15th, 1893, aged 54 years. So there's 7 children who died in infancy. Now remember, Cuthbert and Sarah would have probably had some of the best available medical care, housing, sanitation that people in Bishopwearmouth could have, especially in terms of like midwifery. They'd probably have a midwife on hand, doctors, and so on. So it just shows you the old Victorian saying, in the midst of life we are in death. Now obviously you can get where, you know, it was common for lots of infants to die. Obviously there was lots of childhood diseases like scarlatina, German, like measles, diphtheria, whooping cough, all those types of illnesses that they could pick up and die. So it's not uncommon that loads of infants particularly died, but I always think with this, some of these might have just been random deaths caused by infections, but if you look at all of these children, none of them thrived. Literally they were born, survived a bit, then died. So I have a feeling that this is probably something congenital, which made the infants vulnerable to either infections or they just weren't strong enough to deal with the threats that were out there. So there is a fine monument not far away, just down the bottom of this particular one, for one of the sons, Edwin. One of the daughters is buried where I'm pointing over there with her husband, and then 2 of the other surviving sons, I believe, was the Colonel Vaux, and they got involved and took over the brewery and ran that successfully and stuff. So you can, just to get an idea of where I'm actually stood, to show you, in a prominent position in the cemetery. There's the southern chapel with the scaffolding round. So over there, what was it, at least about 150 years, how many people have walked past this particular spot? I wonder if how many people have noticed it's Cuthbert Vaux of the brewery. It's right on the footpath, so you can't miss it. As I said, it's a shame that the headstones have gone from Bishopwearmouth churchyard or worn away, because this is the type of history that's gone. But thankfully Cuthbert and Sarah left this for people to remember the children. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy that particular video, please give it a like and click on the subscribe button if you wish to. So see you next time. Thank you. Bye.